Pastor Spina. I'm really happy that you made it in for our session today.
Thank you.
I'll be working with you this semester, and so just to clarify, I wanted to let you know that I am a graduate intern. And so as long as you're okay with working with me, then I just need you to sign this form real quick. Great, thank you. So now, before we get started, I just want to go over a few housekeeping items with you. Today's session is going to look a little bit different than a regular session.
Okay.
We'll be completing what we call an assessment, and I'll be asking you just a bunch of questions, basically. This session is going to last about 60 minutes. Future sessions are going to be about 45 minutes. And you get about 6 sessions per semester. So if we meet every other week, that'll take us through to the end of the semester. So how does that sound?
Sounds good.
Great. A little bit about confidentiality. So everything that we talk about here in our counseling sessions is completely confidential. The only time that I have to break confidentiality is if you threaten to hurt yourself or someone else, if you disclose child abuse or abuse against a vulnerable adult, or if a judge orders me to testify in court. And also because I'm an intern, I may need to share some information with my supervisor. So do you have any questions about confidentiality?
No, I think I understand it.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, just a little bit about me. Like I mentioned before, my name is Carolyn, and I graduated from Southeastern back in 2009 with a degree in human services, but after that I opened up a nonprofit organization. It was a residential home for homeless pregnant women, and I ran that program for just over 10 years, and then I decided to come back to SEU to get my master's degree in social work. So that's why I'm here. I'm still learning about various counseling theories and things, and I haven't really figured out exactly which one I vibe really well with. But I can tell you that the social worker in me really believes in providing holistic support. So that's emotional, physical, and even tangible support when needed.
Okay.
So that's just a little bit about me. And so yeah, if you don't mind, we'll go ahead and get started. What is your date of birth?
June 1st, 1973.
Okay, wonderful. And I have your first name is Matthew, and what is your last name?
Spelled the same way as yours, E-S-P-I-N-A.
Wonderful. Okay, and your email address?
matt.theman@gmail.com.
man@gmail.com. Okay, wonderful. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get started with our assessment. If you have any questions along the way about any of the questions that I'm asking you, or need any clarification, just feel free to ask. Okay, so can you describe to me what brings you in today?
Well, I've been having a lot of, I've been a Christian my whole life, and really, when I hear people talk about like anxiety and fear and stuff, to me that always, being raised in a Pentecostal home, the Assemblies of God, that kind of, I always looked at it as a person who's just doesn't have faith, doesn't read the word enough, not praying. God hasn't given us a spirit of fear, but a power and love, a sound mind, and all those things. And, but lately, I've just been anxious about a lot of things, and a lot of situations in my life going on. And I just really started struggling with what I feel might be some anxiety and being overwhelmed. And it's just been kind of contrary to everything I believed. And I'm just having a hard time reconciling that, because I feel like maybe, that God's shown me that it's a real thing. and that if I'm gonna help people, then maybe I need to be, maybe just more understanding or something. But and so, I've just been stressed out about some things, feeling some anxiety. So, and I just want to get to like, maybe understand why, and if I need to pursue some more counseling, or if I just need to go to the altar more and pray more.
Okay. And so how long would you say that you've been experiencing this, feeling anxious and stressed out?
Probably for just some things that happened over the last couple years.
Okay.
And so probably about 2.5 years, 3 years.
Okay. And if you could rate the intensity of this issue from 1 to 5, 1 being like this doesn't bother me at all, to 5 being like I can't go on, what would you say?
I say most of the time my anxiety is, stays around a 3. Sometimes it'll get up to a 4. Never really a 5. I don't ever feel like I just can't go on. When I at the most intense, I feel more like, okay, all right, what's going on? Just pull myself together here. And get through this. I don't really feel like giving up or anything, but so probably around a 3, sometimes a 4.
Okay. And how would you say this problem is interfering with your day-to-day life?
Well, I know like my blood pressure was up for a while, and that's not healthy. Also, it just causes me sometimes to just, kind of pull away, not be productive, try to find some time away, pull my, just kind of like, okay, I'm closing up shop for the day or whatever. Doesn't keep me from going out and doing anything or anything like that. But I think it causes me to have a lot of just overwhelming thoughts. I'm thinking about what's going to happen, what's going to be in the future, what's going on around me. And sometimes my mind just seems to be spinning in a circle of just constantly thinking of everything I have to do. And just like, I just can't, I'm just getting overwhelmed, and I have to. So I think it's my productivity and really my sense of peace.
Okay. And if treatment were to be successful, what do you think would be different? So say we're at the end of our scheduled sessions, what does that look like to you? Like, what would be a goal, or what would be different in your life?
I think the goal is to identify the situations that are causing it, and to try to either avoid them or to approach them differently. And I'm hoping that by the end of the session, I'll have a sense of just just a better grasp on my emotions, my anxiety, where I'm able to control them, put them away, and realize, hey, everything's going to be okay, and just move on and be productive, and not feel like that I'm not certain about how the day's going to go. But I want to have some certainty and some clarity.
Okay. Great. Okay, so I'm gonna list about 30 different what we call symptoms, and I want you to think about the last 30 days, and if you've experienced any of these, whether related to the situation or not. But
Okay.
Okay. So and we can expound on any of them if you feel like you need to.
Okay.
So how about sadness?
Not very often. I'm not very often sad, but I've experienced a few times.
Okay. Feeling hopeless or helpless?
No, not really.
Okay. Sleeping too much?
No.
Fatigue or no energy?
Yes, but I think that might be attributed to the work I do. But yes, I have felt fatigue.
Okay.
And of course the heat.
Right. It's been very hot this summer. How about poor memory?
I don't remember. But no, I don't feel like I've had poor memory.
Okay. No motivation?
No, I feel motivated.
Lack of interest?
Well, I mean, there hasn't been any interest in anything new, but the things I do, I'm still very interested in it.
Okay. Thoughts of dying?
No.
Guilt?
No.
Feeling worthless?
No.
Not hungry?
No.
Okay. Prefer being alone?
That, yeah, there's often times I feel like I'd just rather be alone.
Okay. Irritable or angry?
Yeah, I feel that sometimes.
Can't sleep?
I think occasionally when my mind is full of thoughts, yeah.
Okay. Too much energy?
I don't think that's ever really been a problem lately, no.
Okay. No need for sleep?
No.
Okay. Talking too fast?
Nobody's told me that, but maybe a little too much. I've had some people tell me I've been talking a lot lately.
Okay. How about impulsive?
Not really impulsive, no.
Can't concentrate?
No.
Restless or can't sit still?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Okay. Suspicious? You ever feel suspicious of things?
Not really, no.
Okay. You ever hear things or see things that other people don't hear or see?
No, nothing like that.
Okay. Do you ever feel like people are watching you?
Not really. I mean, sometimes I feel like cashiers are always checking me out.
Okay. How about people out to get you?
No.
Right. Feeling nervous?
Nervous, not, I don't think in an unnatural way. I think nervous about some things that are, or that would, create being a little nervous naturally, but
Okay.
not really.
Okay. How about fearful?
No.
Any panic attacks or anxiety attacks?
No attacks, nothing like that.
Okay. Any trouble being in crowds?
Sometimes it's annoying when they're too much, but I don't have any like fear or like anxiety about it.
Okay. Easily startled?
No.
How about avoidance? Avoiding things that you need to do?
Not really, no.
Okay. And reoccurring nightmares?
No.
Okay. Okay. Do you now or have you ever contemplated suicide?
I never have, no.
Okay. Would you consider yourself a survivor of trauma?
I don't even consider myself a survivor. Like, I've had trauma that I might not have survived. I've had trauma, but I don't feel like a survivor of trauma.
Okay. So you have experienced trauma, but you don't feel like it's something that you've survived.
Yeah, I think we all have some type of trauma, but I don't feel like, man, boy, I could have been dead, but I survived that.
Okay. Are you pregnant?
I am not.
Okay, wonderful. Are you at risk for HIV, AIDS, or STIs from using needles or having unsafe sex?
Never.
No? Okay. And has your physical health ever kept you from participating in activities?
No, not really.
Okay. Have you ever used any form of tobacco?
Never.
Okay, wonderful. Took off about 5 of our questions, so that's great. Would you or someone that you know say that you are having a problem with alcohol?
I've never drank alcohol.
Okay. Would you or someone that you know say that you have problems with pills or illegal drugs?
Never done any of those.
Okay. Would you or someone that you know say that you're having problems with any other addictions? Examples that they give here are gambling, pornography, or shopping.
No.
Okay. Have you ever been to a self-help group regarding any kind of substance use?
No. No substance.
Okay. Okay, let's see. Alrighty. Okay. Who are the people that are in your family? So like if you think about your nuclear family, who would those people be?
Their names or?
Yes.
My wife Carolyn.
Okay.
My children Nathaniel, Rebecca, Joshua, and Naomi. You know, I do have some sisters and stuff. I mean, they're, you know, but that's pretty much it. And of course, I have a daughter-in-law, Olivia, and a son-in-law named Chris.
Okay.
But I don't see them too often. So.
Oops. So you have a daughter-in-law. Her name is, what was it again?
Elvira. Olivia.
Okay. And then you said you have a son-in-law.
And Chris.
His name is Chris. Okay, wonderful. Has there been any significant person or family member enter or leave your life in the last 90 days?
No.
No? Okay. And how would you rate the relationships in your family? So, good, fair, poor, close, stressful, distant, or other?
You mean in general, all of them, or each individual?
The ones that you live with. So, because your kids are older, right?
Yeah, two of them are married, and
Yeah.
none of them really live with us. So I think that a relationship with my wife is, I think we're close, and we've been through a lot, and my little girl Naomi, we adopted her, so she's only almost three.
Okay.
And so, you know, yeah, we're close with her.
All right. And how are the relationships in your support system? So that would be your friends or maybe extended family.
I do have some close friends. A friend named Carl, and my friend Kevin. That I could, you know, I feel like I can really talk to them about. I have a good pastor friend named Phil Cook, and my pastor now, Pastor Mike Spivey. I just feel like I have the people in place that I can go to and just talk to them about whatever.
Okay, great.
If I need to.
That's wonderful. Are there any problems in your family now? So like conflict, abuse, stress, loss?
How long do we have? An hour? No, I'm just kidding. I'll be honest with you. My family right now, I think there's a lot of stress.
Okay.
My wife and I are, you know, we're trying to launch a church, and she's going to school. She's very busy. You know, I'm 51, and you know, she's turning 49, and we just adopted this little girl a few years ago. That's been a challenge, and you know, as you're older, it takes a lot out of you, and you know, sometimes it's stressful because we feel like, I know I do, and I know she does too, that we should be moving forward. The children are behind us, but we have her, but we love her with all of our heart. So that's a challenge. And so I think there's some stress going on, and sometimes I can see it in my wife, and she can see it in me. Sometimes we're a little irritable, but the good thing about my wife and I is that we made an agreement that we can talk to one another, be honest with one another, and really express how we feel and not keep it in and let it stew inside of us, you know.
Okay. That's great. Okay, Were there any problems with your family in the past? Conflict, abuse, stress, loss, other?
Well, sure, there were, if we're talking about the same immediate family, I mean, going back to my childhood, I had my dad was kind of an angry man, and he was the only child and stuff, but I think as me, with my wife and my children, I used to have a lot of anger issues. Wasn't really a physical abusive, although there were times, my dad spanked me and stuff, and my wife and I had a very different approach to what physical discipline should be. But one thing's for sure, I used to verbally have a lot of negativity and what we call verbal abuse, and it's kind of stuff I learned from my family that I had to work through, learn from my past, and so we've had some challenges, we've had some stressful times.
Okay. Are there any problems in your support system now? So that conflict, abuse, stress, loss?
No, I don't feel like there are.
No, okay. Were there any problems with your support system in the past?
No, not really. I think I've had a good support system. I did have one issue with a pastor that I was very close to, that I thought we were good friends, and we were, and I just kind of got some really bad advice from him. I think if I really would listen to him, I don't think I would be married right now.
Okay. Okay. The next question is, what is your marital status now? And I'm guessing you're married. Still married?
I'm married.
From
Yes,
what
I
you
am.
said, yeah. Okay. Would you say that you've ever had problems with your marriage or relationships?
Absolutely.
Okay. And would you say that those problems were stress, conflict, loss, divorce, separation, trust issues?
Just a lot of that. A lot of fighting, conflict,
Okay.
separation, trust. Just I haven't been divorced. Almost got divorced.
Okay. All right. And do you have any close friends?
Yes, I do. I have some very close friends.
And do you have any problems with friendships? Problems making friends, keeping friends?
Not really. I feel like I make friends pretty well.
Okay.
And if I don't know about it because they're not my friends.
All right. Do you get along well with others, your neighbors, co-workers?
Yeah, I do. I do now, especially, I get along with people that I trust.
Okay.
And people that I feel are real. But in the past, I had a lot of issues with, being friends with people or trusting people, because I felt that people just were, just didn't have integrity. People would say one thing, do another and stuff, and I just kind of like pushed them aside. I just don't want a friendship like that.
Okay. And what do you like to do for fun?
I like to ride my bicycle. I like to go places with my wife, fun places, travel a little bit, maybe for a day or sometimes for a weekend or so. I like to play with my little girl Naomi. She makes me laugh all the time. She brings a lot of joy into my life. And then I go to the gym, and of course I love church and all. And I like to build things and fix things up around the house. And I like to do things. A lot of things I don't do for myself because I don't need them, but I just want my wife to be, proud of me, and I do things for her so that she can see that I love her.
Okay.
But of course, sometimes when I feel like the things I do that show her that I love her is not really the things she's looking for, and so sometimes I think too much. Maybe I'm in my man mode and not enough in understanding of her heart sometimes.
Okay. I'm gonna just take a little bit of a left turn here.
Okay.
Who or what keeps you going during difficult times?
Well, of course, the Lord. He's my strength. And honestly, if it wasn't for Him, I don't know where I'd be. I mean, I'm motivated to work for my family, my wife and my daughter, but, I don't really have anybody that keeps me going. If I didn't have my wife and my daughter, I would just do what I needed to do for me and for the Lord and His purpose. I don't have any, there's no buddies or anything pushing me through or anything like that,
Okay. And what gives you hope or comfort?
Of course, as a believer, we have hope in Christ and salvation, of course, and return of Christ, and that's a given. But when we talk about things that are secular or what we call worldly or something, I think the thing that gives me hope and comfort is I think I find comfort in accomplishing tasks and seeing that they're done well, and feeling a sense of accomplishment. I think that's really, and as far as hope goes, I mean, my hope's in Christ. I don't really have any hope about anything else. I mean, I hope what? I'll be a millionaire. No.
Okay. Do you have a religious practice or faith?
No, I'm actually an atheist, of course.
Okay.
Yes, I do. I'm a believer in Jesus Christ, and not a Jehovah's Witness either. I mean, we're
okay. And how has your faith helped you in managing the current situation, the one that we talked about, anxiety?
Well, I think my faith, being able to pray and just talk to the Lord, just being able to audibly express what I'm going through is so beneficial. And then, of course, I really believe that those times that the Holy Spirit comes in and brings comfort. And also the faith that I know that He's working things out for my good, and it's not, He's never going to let me down, and then in the end, it's going to be okay. Even if I die, then everything's okay,
Okay, wonderful. So I'm going to go ahead and just take a quick break.